For us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past but the future.
For nearly a month, Kamala Harris has been completely AWOL, but now she's finally agreed to do a sit-down interview with CNN's Dana Bash. But of course, it's going to also include Tim Walz, because you don't want to be one-on-one with Dana. She might get all handsy, right? So of course, the only people looking forward to this are the folks on the right. So we can point fingers and laugh at how poorly she's inevitably going to do. However, these softball questions still might be too much for her, and that of course has the Young Turks words. Let's go ahead and check this out. But before we get to the video, please like and comment so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Cenk, I'm really curious what you think about the decision to have Kamala Harris do a joint interview rather than a solo interview.
Yeah, I'm worried about it. So I'm worried about the whole thing. So up until now, they've been running a brilliant campaign. You definitely don't hear me saying that often about Democratic campaigns. In fact, I'm not sure I've ever said it. Outside of Ojeda and that almost won in West Virginia and a couple other quirky campaigns that were amazing. Why did you guys let this drag out so long? It makes it seem like she's scared to do an interview. All that will do is create more anxiety for her and more pressure and more people looking at it. Whereas if it didn't bubble up to be an issue and you just did an interview right away, nobody would have even thought about it, right? You do a simple one, you do a 5-minute one, a 10-minute one. There's 1,000 ways they could have done this. But now I'm worried that she's nervous.
Okay, a couple of things I want to comment on here. First, Cenk actually says Democrats are running a wonderful campaign. Well, okay, I will admit it seems to be better than average, much better than I thought they'd ever be able to do with Kamala Harris at the helm. However, one of the reasons their campaign might be going so well is because no one knows who Kamala Harris is, and basically she is just stealing all of Donald Trump's talking points, all right? Whether you're talking about no tax on tips, whether you're talking about being tough on the border, or even building a border wall now. Kamala Harris came out on video and said that border walls are racist, right? We shouldn't be building them. We should be breaking them down. Okay, but here she is now all of a sudden recognizing, yeah, this is a really big issue. People don't like it. And I'm at the head of this. After all, I'm the border czar. So what'd she do? Oh, it's time to build that wall. She should just put on a MAGA hat and call it good. But of course, Cenk is correct to be worried, because what is Kamala's MO? It's word salads. It's not being able to answer questions. It's leading into cackles when she gets nervous, right? That's exactly what happens every time she gets in front of that camera and is not reading a teleprompter. So is this going to turn out pretty good? I doubt it. It's going to be a complete train wreck, and I'm going to love watching every second of it.
I think the reason why Kamala Harris stalled on the interview is because she's kind of in an impossible position. So she is going to be asked to defend policies that have not been popular in the Biden administration or failures of the Biden administration, okay? She's gonna be asked about Gaza. That is a difficult issue to talk about as a politician trying to garner favor among the electorate. She's probably gonna be asked to comment on the chaotic US withdrawal from Afghanistan. That's been getting a lot of news lately because of the anniversary of that event. But it was, look, I was in favor of pulling out of Afghanistan. Obviously, the way that it went down and the number of Americans who were killed as a result was awful. So she's going to be asked about that. She's probably going to be asked about the failures with the border crisis. She's probably going to be asked about inflation and what her plans are. And look, she has, in my opinion, struggled in the past in doing sit-down interviews. Like Tim Walz, number one, does not have that problem of having to defend the Biden administration. Kamala Harris is in the Biden administration, so that's going to be a challenge. And Tim Walz is kind of comfortable and natural and conversational when he sits down to talk to reporters. Kamala Harris has not proven that she can do the same thing.
That's actually a really good point that Anna brings up there. Kamala Harris, of course, is in this position where she has to defend Joe Biden. But at the same time, all of his policies are so unpopular that how in the world could you come out and do that and still expect to win your election? I mean, after all, we just saw a whole bunch of numbers come out. This is just from the 17th of this month, where Donald Trump is leading on all of the big issues. +9 on the economy, +9 on inflation, +3 on crime and safety, +10 on immigration, right? Those are the things that Donald Trump is leading on. So what are you going to do? Come out and still say that Bidenomics is working, that inflation is going down, Americans are better off now than they were 4 years ago? Is that what you're going to say? Because people will not buy it. And I also find it interesting that Anna brings up, well, she has to come out and kind of do something about Gaza because that's a problem issue. Only on the left. On the right, you simply say, hey, Israel, go ahead and defend yourselves. You might have to caveat that by saying, we're not going to give you blank checks. We will sell you aid. We will sell you whatever you need, but we're not going to give you free handouts, right? And then boom, it's solved on the right. But on the left, the wacko leftist base, which apparently just loves terrorism, loves Hamas, what are they going to do? They're going to melt down and go crazy. So of course, Kamala Harris has to thread that needle in order to get elected.
But one other thing that I'll mention, Cenk, is, I mean, I would be shocked if Dana Bash didn't ask Kamala Harris how much she knew about Joe Biden's mental decline prior to that debate. So that's going to come up too. So I look, she's on cloud nine right now. They've been campaigning well. She's increasing her lead in the national polls. She didn't want to do an interview that could actually, you know, potentially sacrifice some of the good vibes that voters are feeling toward her.
Yeah, no, this is a big problem.
Now, in a functioning media, all of these questions would have already been answered by Kamala Harris because people are really interested. But yes, the Joe Biden question. How much did Kamala know and when did she know it? Did she know she was dealing with a doddering old man and chose to hide it, to cover it up, simply because she wanted to maintain being vice president for a little while longer? I mean, as we saw just a few months ago, Kamala Harris said, oh, I work with Joe Biden every single day. I see him in action. I know what he's about, and he is capable. He is competent. Of course, all of that went away as soon as Donald Trump revealed the dementia that was taking place. Okay, so this is exactly what Kamala Harris is having to face now because she's ignored them for so long, and it's going to be blaringly obvious that she doesn't have any really good answers for it. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.